Hi guys, so today I wanted to talk about failure. Failure is truly when we stop trying, and I want to get into deep about what failure is and what it can be. Failure can bring us down, but failure can also bring us up. Failure is when you didn't get the job or when you didn't get into that school you wanted. Failure is when we don't truly become our full potential that we know we can be. And failure can be feeling like an inadequate son, an inadequate daughter, an inadequate mother or father. Failure is all a human experience we've all experienced. It is the thing that will keep us going or the thing that will stop us from actually accomplishing what we want to do. Today, I'm going to redefine what you think of failure. Because failure always has a negative connotation to it, but failure is not negative. Failure can be something positive. Failure is a lesson learned that our future self will become wiser from. So, let's get into it. So, although failure is believed to be a dead end, failure is just another way, another step closer to being successful. With failure, you become wiser. With failure, you gain knowledge. With failure, you know what you want in life. You know what you don't want in life. If you keep trying, eventually failure will become your superpower that will propel you into your success. So let us remind ourselves that failure is not the end, but it's only the beginning of something great. So, why am I experienced in talking about failure? I would say what I thought my failure in life was not graduating high school and me being a mom at 19. I saw everyone go off island and travel, but I was stuck in a relationship that I always felt like leaving. The amount of fear of missing out that I had as I watched my friends go was overwhelming. At the time, my family in the Philippines didn't even know I was pregnant. My family here wanted to keep it a secret because of how much judgment that I would face because I was a mom so young. I had the fear of judgment and fear of letting everyone down since I was what they would say the smart girl. I didn't feel smart for being pregnant at 19. I didn't feel smart for not graduating my high school. And I didn't feel smart for being in an abusive relationship when I knew better. I felt like a true failure because the 20s is the time for exploration and self discovery and finding a career path that I would endeavor in the future that would become my financial security for my life. But instead, I was in an abusive relationship for 2 years. Instead, I never finished my high school diploma yet. So you can imagine all the emotions that you can feel that overwhelmed you being a mother at 19 and facing the fact that I wasn't who I truly wanted to be. And that is true failure that I felt. Even though I felt all of that in my life or in those 2 years, I didn't want to remain as that person I was back then. I wanted to be better from it. I knew that just because I failed at something does not mean I cannot succeed. If anything, my failure and those experiences have made me grow so much more as a person, and it's going to amplify my success now. If I didn't fail at those things back then I wouldn't have discovered what fulfillment and meaning I have now. I wouldn't have had my daughter, who gives so much motivation to a greater future. I was living a harsher reality than most of my peers at the time, but that made me stronger as a person because any hardship I face now cannot compare to what I faced back then. I feel like it empowered me to become so much more than what I faced as my mistakes and my failures. It's like they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And that is genuinely how I felt. It is like a heat in the furnace of pottery. Pottery has to be in a furnace, take the heat in order to become a beautiful dish. And I think that's so magical and that is so powerful to think that everything we go through in life gives us lessons that we can learn and experiences that we can learn from. Although it did pull me down at the time and I did go through depression, I come out feeling much more enlightened, much more fulfilled, much more purposeful. And I hope everybody can feel and see how much all of the downs and all of the lows in our life can actually make us better because of it. So, getting into it, failure is a stepping stone. There are so many famous people and successful people that failed. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times creating the light bulb, and he said he didn't look at it as failure. He said, I have not failed. I just found 10,000 ways that won't work. J.K. Rowling, the writer of Harry Potter series, also failed. She was depressed. She was grieving the loss of her mom. She was living on welfare, but the only thing she had to cling on was writing. Eventually, writing became her passion and it became something that propelled her to success. On top of that, she was going through a divorce. In her spare time, she wrote because she already experienced her rock bottom, her lowest point that she can only feel like she can get up from there. She realized that failure to her was the solid foundation to rebuild her life. And I can sympathize with how she feels. I am a mother and I've gone through my lows and I feel like I've grieved the experience of losing a loved one, losing what could have been in my relationship. But I realized that what could have been shouldn't have been because it's already been. Anyways, even Walt Disney himself failed. He was fired from the newspaper job he had because he lacked creativity. But later on, he won 30 Academy Awards because of his film Minnie Mouse and Mickey Mouse. Everyone goes through failure. It is what you do after you have failed that will determine whether you will succeed in life or you will succeed in what you want. Fail many times, but don't let the failure stop you from living and keep going. What can we do when we fail? Failure can become our superpower when we learn resilience, when we face challenges head on, and we know that we can overcome it. That is now called our failure. We cannot avoid the inevitable, but we can only get stronger from it. We can learn from it. Resilience is knowing when we can handle the worst because we've done it before. We've failed so many times in life. Think back to when you failed in elementary and you already forgot about it now. But in the end, you realize that what you thought was so hard back then becomes so easy for you now. And it's going to be the same throughout life. What you think is hard now will be something that you forgot was ever hard in the first place. All the pain that you feel is temporary. We will experience more breakdowns, but remember that we overcame what we thought was the worst, and we can overcome what we think is the worst now. Every moment is a fleeting moment. Not everything is permanent. So, another way we feel that failure can make us more successful is by showing compassion to ourselves. The biggest supporter in life is you. You have no one else to get up the bed for you. You're the only person that's going to live your life. No one else is going to live it but you. When we know that no one else will be kinder to us than ourselves, we learn to be there for ourselves. So many things will bring you down. Negativity will surround you. So don't let it be you that brings negativity in your life. Be the only person that's kind to yourself, even if the whole world isn't. Allow yourself to be compassionate and supportive of what you do right now. Don't put yourself down. Everyone is going through something. It is a journey of life, and you are still going to succeed when you believe in your potential. You can look at failure and start with small goals. Consistency over perfection. I've learned this through experience and through advice I have heard, and I can test to its truth. When you don't focus on the bigger picture that overwhelms you and you start doing one thing at a time, it brings you a little closer and brings you more motivation than facing something so big and overwhelming. You don't stress about the immediate. Progress is slow and there is no rushing it. The important thing to do is to do something every day or every week. It can be as simple as not using your phone early in the morning or scrolling, rotting our brains the first thing we do. It can be 30 minutes of reading a book. It can be 10 minutes of that simple exercise you've always wanted to do. Anything and everything, every choice you make is a little progress towards your goal if you choose to make it. And at the end of 1 year of you doing something every day and every week, you'll find that you become someone totally different than what you were a year before. And in that imperfect consistency, you strive for the little moments of joy, the progress you did when you chose to be a better version of yourself with every action that you chose. So enjoy the small wins. Every day of our life is spending energy to be our full potential or feeling like a stagnant person that we are now. It is easy for us to put ourselves down for only doing that, but we need to rewire ourselves, rewire our brain. Celebrate anything, any small thing that you've done that brought you one step closer to your goal. It can be as simple as writing a note to yourself to become better. It can be watching this video because just watching this video in itself shows that you acknowledge and you want to try to become a better version of yourself. So celebrate it. Make joy of what you can, of every moment and every choice that strives to be a better version of you. It is through wanting and choosing and celebrating that small little thing that we did that can motivate us to continue to being better for ourselves. When we do that, we do not pressure ourselves to overwork, but to look at it as happiness. And when we are happy, we keep doing it. We keep doing more of it. So be happy. So live in the moment of the present, of the joyful bliss that you chose to simply watch something, to simply do something, to simply become someone in that 10 minutes of you exercising. Because it is the you that's going to be the better version of yourself a year in the future, 2 years in the future, maybe even just 6 years. When you're in that moment of doing, in the moment of trying, of being, is what you're reaching to be your full potential. So remember that every moment is a choice to do something better. Failing is not the end all be all. It is our hope that we do not experience the same thing again. We do not experience the feeling of dread or that rabbit hole that we feel. We become wiser, and when we do face our problems head on, and when we do face it again, we know we can handle it because we've built resilience and we come back with more life to it. So do not let failure define you. Make it a propeller of your life and of your success. Just try and try again until one day you realize you've succeeded and you've realized how far you've come. So thank you, and I hope I motivated you and let you feel a sense of trying again, a sense of fulfillment again. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.